Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's Critical Misses. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
I guess.
Oh boy, we're hitting the halfway mark here. Almost halfway done with DCEU Part 2. Getting we had a good one last time.
Yes,
A
definitely.
genuine good one.
The Wonder Woman of this season, one might refer to it as, despite the fact that there is a Wonder Woman in this season.
Yeah, which I don't remember. I think that might be after this one. But this one is 2020's Birds of Prey, parenthetically, and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. It's the only time I'm going to say that. Enjoy.
I'm sorry, what was that? I've missed the title.
Oh, the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn?
I mean the full title.
Oh, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
There we go. Now I got it.
Yeah, the 2020 movie.
You've been saying for weeks that we're only going to say it once, so I had to make sure you said it multiple times.
Yeah, I just said it once. I spliced some audio. Yep, it was all good. I'm very good. Yeah. Man, I feel like this is probably maybe the biggest unknown for me this season.
Oh, yep. Very much the same for me, if I'm completely honest.
Because I feel like I have heard the least about this movie. I remember the general vibe of people saying I liked it, but there was always sort of a like, but I wasn't expecting to.
Yes, I also distinctly remember this being a why are they doing a Birds of Prey movie and Harley Quinn is in it? And then why did they remove the title of the movie and just replace it with the Harley Quinn title? Because Harley was the most, to use wrestling terminology, was the most over thing in the entire movie.
Yeah, because when this came out originally, it was Birds of Prey and then the full title. And then eventually in theaters, they retitled it to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yep. That's what it's literally down as on the internet. It's Harley Quinn : Birds of Prey.
Okay. Yeah, there was an in-theater title change. Everyone was like, okay. I don't think that's going to make more people see it still after, Suicide Squad, which was, C season 1.
True.
But
she did kind of steal that show. Like, she was the best part of that movie, arguably.
I remember liking her performance a lot. I mean, Margot Robbie is great in general. She's super hot right now because of Barbie. That is
and everything else she's been in recently. She's been in everything, it feels like.
And I don't think I've seen her in something where I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Margot Robbie's just phoning it in. I don't think that's ever been the case. Let me pull up her filmography here. But I kind of don't know anything about this, and I feel kind of badly.
Let's start with the title. Do you know who the Birds of Prey are?
I do not.
Okay, so you haven't hit the point in the Arrowverse where you've seen the Birds of Prey yet.
Right.
Because yes, they're in there too. Okay. You know one of them. One of them is Black Canary.
Okay, sure. Yep, got her from the Arrowverse.
The other one is Huntress.
Okay, that rings a bell.
In Arrowverse, she was the mafiosa's daughter who was trying to kill the leader of the mafia because he killed her fiance, and her and Oliver have a thing, and rather than use a bow and arrow, she uses crossbows.
Shockingly, her and Oliver have a thing.
Who would have thunk?
That's right.
Who would have thunk? I think Hawkgirl was part of them at one point, and probably a whole bunch of other people, but I'm also pretty sure that Batgirl was one of the Birds of Prey too.
So it's like a Justice League thing where there's like maybe a couple of core people and then they're all swapping out. As one person dies for about 6 months, someone else comes and joins for a little bit until they turn evil and then go do something else.
Yes, and they all have to be bird themed as well. Seems to be the the thing. We'll
right.
say
Now I'm picking. They got a whole theme going on, a whole shtick. I appreciate that. I like it. So naturally, Harley Quinn fits right in there, right?
Fits right in. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
That's the part that makes perfect sense to me. You know? Sure. Why not?
Now I'm getting it.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So we have like a team of bird-themed ladies solving crimes, beating up bad guys. They are the bad guys. What's
they're heroes, but they're more anti-heroes, I believe, than traditional heroes. They are well, but they're in the Green Arrow, so it tells you the kind of anti-heroes they are.
True. True.
I mean, Black Canary has always walked the line between villain and hero.
That's right. I live in the shadows.
Huntress very much. Yes, Huntress is very much the same.
Right.
So, you know, it makes sense. There was a failed TV show of the Birds of Prey that made it. They had a pilot, and that's it, in like the 90s. Like, when Smallville was a thing.
Okay.
So there was that. I know it's maybe, I don't know. It's a popular comic book for like with all of the lead ladies.
And
that's all I know about them, really.
And I think the last time we saw Harley in the DCEU was Suicide Squad, right?
Correct. We have not seen Harley since the Suicide Squad.
Right. She's been busy doing bad guy stuff, anti-hero things.
We know that Harley is obviously front and center in this movie. I have questions.
Oh, please hit me with those questions. I got nothing.
Do we see Jared Leto? You forgot about that, didn't you? You forgot about the Suicide Squad Joker.
I really did. He's the worst. God. This is, what, 4 years after... Yeah, 4 years after Suicide Squad. I bet because of the swift
He was brought in for the Justice League movie.
That's true.
You just didn't see... We just didn't see most of that part.
Yeah, just had the... Yeah. I feel like after Suicide Squad's swift and vocal response to not only the whole movie, but especially Joker, I feel like if you're trying to make something different, you don't put Joker in this one.
Do you really think they're trying to make something different, dude? Like,
I'm hoping in my heart of hearts, I hope the DCEU will surprise me 2 movies in a row. The only thing I could see is that...
Hold on. I'm pulling up the critical misses list here so I can look at exactly what this season entails. And you tell me if they're trying to do something different. The rest of this season is Wonder Woman, again. The Suicide Squad, again. And then the Justice League, again. Do you really think they're doing something different?
Justice League, this time in 4x3. All right.
And 6.5 hours long.
Yeah, and black and white, yeah. The only thing I could see potentially in this is maybe the Joker and Harley are in the intro together, and maybe they split up, or they have some sort of like something separates the two of them, and she's off on her own adventures doing her thing, and then he's off launching himself into the sun or something.
I really hope that if he's in this, he's only in the beginning.
For like literally 90 seconds max.
If that. Give me a 30-second like footage cut from the other movies, like version of him. That would be fine.
The sepia toned sort of footage, I'd be okay with that. I don't want to gaze upon his visage again.
Yes, we definitely don't want to go to an island and put flower laurels around our necks.
Never go to Island with Jared Leto. This joke is going to age so poorly. I bet by the time it comes out, it's going to be so bad. But like, no, never.
Dude, it's already so bad. Like,
that's true. That's true.
Famous rich people and islands don't go well together in 2023.
It's literally supervillain stuff. Oh man. Oh, Jared Leto's the worst, allegedly.
The cameras just weren't working, Boston. The cameras just weren't working.
No, they were just...
Anyway.
Yep. Okay, so hopefully we don't see very much of him.
Fingers crossed.
Who's
the villain?
That was literally what I was going to say. The through line for especially this season has been, hey man, I don't know DC villains. The villain in Suicide Squad was Enchantress, right? Is remembering that?
Yes, Enchantress, and well, technically they were all villains. That's the nature of the show.
Heyo.
Of the movie. But yes,
right.
Arguably, the villain in Suicide Squad was Batman for what he did to Deadshot and his daughter. No, yes, it was Enchantress, and also, crap. Why have I forgotten her name?
Amanda Waller.
Thank you. Jeez.
Also, been doing this show for a very long time. I knew exactly who you meant when you said, "Well, I don't remember her name." I thought it's probably her. Yeah.
Yes. Whose animated version outstrips every version of her I've ever seen, as far as I'm concerned. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Very good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not Amanda Waller. It can't be Amanda Waller. We'll put that to bed.
I would be very surprised. Yeah.
Yes. Enchantress, I believe, was healed/fixed at the end of the Suicide Squad movie.
Something like that. That was a long movie and was not good.
Or was under control by the end. Or maybe they did a post-credit stinger where the Enchantress showed up again. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, okay, so none of these people are superheroes, I believe. None of the Birds of Prey are legitimate metahumans, to use the modern-day terminology. Is it just going to be regular dudes? Like, are we going to get, like, Are
they stopping bank robberies?
The guy who wears tape around his face and then Hush, the one who pretends to be Bruce Wayne. Are we going to get him?
That would be all right.
Penguin? Like,
that would be kind of fun.
Legitimate people? Do we get Falcone? Like, you know.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I feel like it's
the lead of Falcone.
I feel like it's probably safe to assume that it won't be any Batman villains, because I would assume that the showrunners over at DCEU Incorporated, they are probably saying like, hey, look, if it's a Batman villain, putting this aside, that might show up in a Batman something. You can't use Two-Face. You can't use any of these as.
They had a chance to make a Batman movie. They didn't. Batman's biggest villain is Joker, who has already showed up in the Suicide Squad.
It's true. Where's Clayface? Get him in there. CG Clayface.
Dude, are you going to tell me that they're going to sit there and say, no, you can't use Calendar Man. No, you can't use Victor Zsasz. No, you can't use any
Oh, God, someone wants to use Calendar Man? Please. Just take him, take Condiment Man, take a bunch of people. It's a 6-for-1 deal.
Cannot wait until you see this Suicide Squad movie, because the whole thing about the Suicide Squad is it's B stars. Calendar Man and Calendar Man and Condiment Man were both members of the Suicide Squad at one point or another.
That's the good stuff. Oh man! Also, if anyone hasn't watched it, go watch the Lego Batman movie. It's very good. If you know really Calendar Man and Condiment Man, you should go watch that movie.
Yes, it's very good. That is a very good movie overall anyway.
Yes.
But generally, all the Lego movies are great though. Like, Batman shows up in the Lego movie and he's amazing. Heavy metal, I'm dark.
He's very good. Oh, man. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder if you kind of lean into... How much you lean into these being regular humans with an outfit.
Because they're not going to go against Mr. Freeze. Come on.
No.
100% no.
No, yeah, I don't even think you go in against someone like Two-Face. You know, someone who is a human that has like a shtick. I feel like you're right. It's probably somebody like Falcone. It's like a mob boss or a crime boss or something like that. It's that kind of level of, look at what this guy's trying to do. He's trying to rob the metaverse for all your slurp juice apes. You know, something like that. A joke that's
Oh,
already
God.
dated at the time of recording.
Dude, Crypto Man would be a great Batman villain.
That would be really great.
Oh, that would be such a good Batman villain, Crypto Man.
He's just wearing one of those barrels from the 1800s. Will work for crypto.
And then he protects himself with crypto, which vanishes right when he's just about to use it.
That's right. That's right.
There's 5 ladies on the cover. We know Harley Quinn.
Right.
Because while we're recording this, the poster is up for both of us to see. That's literally, because I haven't seen this either, that's literally all of that we have to go on right now.
Right.
I'm going to guess that's Huntress on the left-hand side of the cover because she has a crossbow.
That's probably safe, yeah.
Is any of these Black Canary? Because none of them are wearing black.
I have no idea.
and I guarantee we're not going to get Black Canary from the TV show.
No. And that's part of the reason why I'm excited for this one, because I feel like this one, out of any of the rest of them, I feel like the actors in Zack Snyder's Justice League are probably a known quantity. We'll get to that in a couple of episodes. But this one seems like it could be sort of like last movie, where it's like, oh man, they're in there, and they're in here too. Oh, I love them. Like, this seems more likely above and beyond the other ones to have like, oh, I love her, and she's great in this, and oh, they're great in here. Like, that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking for. I'm excited to see who the villain is. I want to know who they got cast wise, other than Harley, because I can't recognize any of these ladies from the weird painting art style that they've got. I wouldn't even been able to tell that was Margot Robbie and the thing, except for
she's got
it's Harley. That's
right.
That's who she is.
Right.
Who got the big paycheck and thought, yeah, I'm in this for the franchise. This is my Iron Man moment.
Oh man.
Who got that big paycheck and then very quickly realized that they don't get nothing.
Yeah, who's in there is like, who is the leader of the Charlie's Angels? Is that Bosley?
Yes, Bosley, I believe.
Who's the Bosley of this
yes.
movie, where it's like they're in there for like maybe 15 minutes, they got a big paycheck, and they're like, great, I'm going to show up in the next 10 DCEU movies. I'm set. It's like anyone joining the MCU after the first couple movies. Exactly. Where it's like, I'm going to get a fat paycheck for the next 20 years. This is great. Yeah, I don't know. I hope there's someone really famous that hops in this where you're like, oh, bro, you hopped in on what could you have done otherwise?
I hope it's someone super famous, and I hope they play the villain.
Yeah.
And I hope they're like, yeah, Suicide Squad is next for me, and they're nothing.
That's right. Gosh. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I know about this. I feel like I saw the trailer when it came out, and I don't remember anything, because it's one of those trailers you wanted to watch because you're like, what is this going to be? Like, what are you actually making?
I don't even think I've seen the trailer.
I don't remember anything about it.
I don't know anything about it. I mean, I'm assuming we get Black Canary and Huntress. I don't know who the other birds of prey are going to be.
Yeah, I don't either.
Whatever.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
Does this movie have a girls' night? Kind of like
man,
how The Boys has like boys' night episode parts.
Oh man, I
really hope that this has like a girls' night kind of thing where it's just like a bunch of girls out on the town, and then they mess stuff up.
I hope so, because like that's part of the stuff that I like about when Harley Quinn is done well, and I think that's why I like her take on Harley Quinn. Is it's, at least in Suicide Squad, it's largely played straight, but just a little bit off. It's not like she's fully bonkers or anything, because there's certainly Harley Quinns that are played like that. But I like her is that just like, it's kind of a normal lady. All this stuff happened, and then she's just a little bit off, but is there to have a good time.
There is a really fantastic moment in the Suicide, because I haven't seen this one. I have seen Wonder Woman, and I have seen the Suicide Squad movie, and I have not seen the Justice League reissue.
Right.
There is a fantastic moment in the Suicide Squad movie that I cannot wait for you to see, specifically revolving around Harley Quinn.
Oh,
spoiler
perfect.
alert, she's in that movie too.
Right. I feel like that I knew that about that because it was sort of, she was kind of a lead in that as well.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, on all of those questioning notes, are you ready to go watch the movie?
Not in the slightest, but yes.
All right, let's go do it. We're back. We've returned from the film. Harley Quinn's starring role on the in the cinema.
This movie, Boston.
You hate this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Let me rewind. Let me correct myself here.
Okay.
The movie is fine.
Sure.
It is a perfectly fine movie. It is the most fine of the DCEU that we have got so far.
Which means it's like 10 out of 10 cinema comparatively.
Yes. Why is this called Birds of Prey?
Hey man, great question. They're in the movie for 15,
10 minutes?
20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Like, okay, so most of my notes for this movie are, she's in this, oh my god, she's in this, I can't believe they got her, also he's in it, he's acting wild. You got, like, one of the most interestingly stacked casts, and then...
I don't know if I'd say interesting.
I think everybody's... we have Ewan McGregor acting wild. Face-peelingly wild.
He was the, kind of... He was the one we called in the first half, where it's like, which big actor is taking a massive payday because they think this is their ticket? And it turns out it's Ewan McGregor.
And seeing him on screen at the beginning, I was like, man, that man looks familiar. And he, like, turns, and I was like, oh, that's Ewan McGregor. Oh, boy. Okay. What happened, Ewy? What's going on in this film? Rosie Perez... Well, yeah. Rosie Perez is in this in a fairly large role. Most importantly, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in this. Probably the most wasted part in this movie. She's way better than the 10 minutes she gets in this film.
Also, she's arguably the best character in this entire movie. Like,
she's great.
As a whole, she's so great. I totally didn't click that was Ramona Flowers until the very end of the movie.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, I haven't seen her in enough stuff, but she's great, man. And Ali Wong is in this too as the DA. And she's usually in comedic stuff, so it's kind of nice to see her, even though her role is very small. Nice to see her in something a little different.
That is true.
But man, this movie is... I like this movie. I like a lot of this movie. I almost said I like this movie. I'm not going to go that far. I like
it's fine. It is absolutely fine.
I mean, it is definitely not the worst DCEU movie here. It is like the most middle of the road movie I've seen, which is a real bummer because I think stylistically and storytelling wise, it really goes for some cool stuff. But I don't think the rest of the movie necessarily holds up to how cool it tries to be. Like the scribbling on the screen stuff when New People That Hate Her pops up is pretty good, but feels like it never super pays off.
It's a continuation of the Suicide Squad style, because that's exactly what the Suicide Squad did. And
it feels a little bit better here because you're getting everything from her perspective, but the first one or two times they did the wait, let me rewind to start at the beginning thing was okay, but the fifth or sixth time was way too much, even though it it paid off less and less. Like if they kept paying off more and more, like finding out that the Huntress isn't the crossbow killer, but she's the son or the daughter of the family that got killed in the intro. It's like, all right, cool, great, fine, whatever. Let's keep moving. Come on, stuff needs to blow up again.
Also, I like the fact she gets basically nothing throughout this entire movie, and then literally 20 minutes before the end, it's like, oh, hold on, let me just rewind a second.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Come on, we're going for a big shootout here. Like, let's.
And the fact that Harley literally says, "My bad for not introducing you earlier." It's like, you know what you did. You know the writers know what they did.
It's a good bit that they just keep going back to 2 or 3 too many times, which I think is a bummer. I think Margot Robbie is good in this role as she is. This certainly isn't the best thing I have seen her in, but
no, she's fine too.
She puts in a good performance.
Did a better job. Yeah, I think she did a much better job in Suicide Squad than she did in this. Because her playing that slightly askew version of Harley is so great in that. Like when she in the Suicide Squad, when she says, "I say we just kill them all," and then everybody looks at her and she's like, "What? You don't hear what they're saying?" And there's nobody there. It's like, okay, that's pretty good comedic timing. Whereas, I don't know, man.
I do give her a lot of credit. I think the scene of her being in love with that breakfast sandwich was genuinely funny. The wind blowing in her face, the romantic shots of her gazing at the sandwich was pretty good. I have to give. I actually do like the actor they got to play Dinah Lance. I thought she was really great, and I was happy to see she had a much bigger part to play in this than I was expecting, because at the beginning it's just like, yeah, she's got this cool voice. Oh, she shatters glass, yeah. And she's like never going to be in the movie again, but she has a bigger part to play than I was expecting here.
And the fact that the cop knows exactly who she is quite kind of hilarious. Like, it's the cop who spares her at the end to be like, yeah, you know what you're going to do, just do it. Yeah.
I like the kid they got to play Cass Kane.
Yes.
I think she did pretty well the whole movie.
She did great. Like, she was the best part of this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, easily the best part of this movie. Because, like, when there was funny bits to do, she did the funny bits. When there was serious bits to do, she did the serious bits. Her sitting in the back of the cop car, figuring out what she's going to let them take and what she's going to stuff down a cast is a good little moment.
Yep.
And of course, swallowing the diamond. Like, I don't know, man. This movie just feels rote. Like,
yeah, for really, something
really rote.
Is this the movie I referenced Rage 2 in the intro of? People might be saying, like, don't you remember? We're recording like 3 seasons right now, so like cut me a little bit of slack. This feels like Rage 2, where you put out a trailer and you're like, hell, all right, yeah, cool. You got some style here, man. And then it turns out to be, yep, it's a brown open world shooter. Yay.
Yep. There's a lot less color in the movie than the poster makes you think, isn't there?
It's a bummer, because I think, and you do get some interesting stuff. I think some of the animated stuff that they have, especially the intro, is really cool. The intro is
pretty solid.
I like that style. They lean into not just animating it in an interesting way. Wish I knew more about the history of animation so I could say, oh, it's this person's style or this studio style, but it's very recognizable. And I like how they recapped Harley's sort of transformation from the Doctor to this character.
That is a section of this movie that I actually like, because it's like, take the Suicide Squad footage and use it in a better movie. Like, that's absolutely fine.
And then
in Suicide Squad, she knocks that out the park. She knocks that whole transition progress out the park. We're not going to talk about Mr. J. The less said about him, the better.
And thankfully, Doesn't appear in this at all, which is
well,
really
you see his back.
And the one time they animate him, he's the traditional like purple suit, green hair Joker. It's like, all right, I appreciate that quite a bit.
That's also his drawing that she puts on that she's throwing knives at. Is that version of the Joker?
I like that scene where she's throwing the knives and Cass is just like, "Who's this?" And she's like, "For real? Like Joker?
Don't
like,
touch."
It's the the king of crime and all of those other things." She's like, "Nope, he looks terrible, but nope."
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you catch the Suicide Squad reference in this movie, by the way?
I don't remember.
It's after she's leaving the cop station after having assaulted a police station by herself with the slowest loading grenade launcher that is in existence.
It's a visually really cool scene. I like the different colors of smoke, but you only get one kind of hero moment of her walking through 3 different colors, and then she's kind of back to blowing a bunch of people up, and it's like, okay.
And a whole bunch of those have glitter in. My question is this in her imagination, or is this actual glitter grenades that she is firing at people? Because
could be either.
Also, if they are like literally like sandbag rounds filled with glitter,
right?
Whoever designed that is the most evil person on the planet. That's right. I'm just saying.
Just burn that whole set to the ground. It's never getting clean.
Yeah, but as she's leaving, there's a wanted sign, and she taps it and says, "Hey, I know that guy. It's Captain Boomerang."
Okay. That's pretty good. Yeah, like even that scene, what's supposed to be a pretty cool action scene, doesn't feel...
It was middle of the road at best.
There's like no impact to it. Like you have these super colorful glitter grenades that you're using, and it just doesn't feel big enough. Once she breaks Cass out of prison and they go in that kind of storage area and they're fighting a bunch of the goons that are in there, that was a pretty good fight scene, I thought.
The cocaine was a good moment. Like
that for me was sort of like, all right, you're jumping the shark here a little bit, but it's not out of character, I guess.
Yeah, it's 100% a Harley thing too, as well, dude.
But I liked that they had a good warehouse fight scene where she's just grabbing anything she can to fight all of these people. Way too many crotch shots, which I will again say I hate in movies, just in general. And there's like 25 of them in this movie, so
well,
it's gripe.
It's the sign of a bad writer for both this kind of movie and wrestling, when the only thing the quote-unquote girl can do is kick the quote-unquote guy in the nether regions. It's just like, get over it.
Yeah.
Like, you mentioned the animated thing at the start as well. Did you catch the Poison Ivy reference that I totally made a note of and I forgot to mention?
Oh, no, I didn't.
She's talking about trying to get over Mr. J, and a bunch of like other animated people come up that she's fallen in love with and then fell out of love with. One of them is the spitting image of Poison Ivy, which is a chef's kiss.
That's really good
reference.
I haven't watched the Harley Quinn animated series that I'm fairly sure I would like.
I've heard it's absolutely fantastic, and I think it's R-rated as well, which is
it's very explicit. Yeah. The one thing that I'm still not entirely sure how I feel in this movie is Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis / Black Mask, which I
know nothing about Black Mask, like, at all.
I don't either. I actually kind of liked the mask in this. I thought it was going to look...
The mask was cool.
I thought it was going to look really stupid when he put it on, and he put it on, I was like, all right, man, that you actually did. That was a pretty good job.
But, dude, his number one lackey is Victor Zsasz.
As soon as he said Zaz, I was like, oh, no. No.
Like, come on. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy who plays Zaz nails it. Like, that
he's great. Yeah.
Masochism side of Zaz is fantastic. I don't like the fact that they play up like Victor Zaz is the one in charge and Sionis is just the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like they play that up way through, all the way throughout the movie. I would have liked it more if when something dirty had to be done, Sionis did it himself, but he put the mask on to do it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's like his own split identities kind of thing, where like yeah,
Right.
he's the mobster, and then Caesars get panicked every time that he reaches for that mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I like how they portrayed Sionis here as this kind of like overly egotistical character where every time his ego is hurt or he's embarrassed or something, he lashes out in an extreme way. He has no real he has no plans to blow up the planet or anything. He just wants this diamond with the bank numbers on the inside, and he wants the money, and he's gonna go get it.
Yeah,
And there's no kind of grander plan than that, and I kind of appreciate that. It isn't I've come from an asteroid that landed on your moon, and I hate your people. It's like, no, man, I just want to be rich.
have you seen Deadpool?
No, I don't like Deadpool, so I haven't watched those.
Okay, they're great movies. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I have heard.
Mm.
I do.
There's a moment in that where Shatterstar joins the team, and he's like,
Mm,
"I'm from an alien planet, and I'm better than you guys at everything."
mm,
And it's like, yeah, I'm glad this is super grounded. I'm glad this is not any of that stuff. Were you disappointed that we didn't see either any of the big guns?
no, I mean, to me, Zaz is like a big enough gun. Maybe that's
No,
like a
he's not.
he's like a big
No,
enough like
he's
wink and
not.
nod gun of like,
Mm,
Zaz. Um, I do I do like how Sionis dies, though. That, they're kind of on the ropes, and uh, Cass pulls the pin on the grenade, and he just blows the hell up, which is really great.
oh, it's so bad.
hmm It's brutal in a way that I wasn't expecting this movie to go, which is great.
Uh-huh. That is where they end their R rating, we'll say.
Yeah, yeah. Um, man, this is having a hard time coming to terms with how I feel about this movie because, like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead in here is really great. She's only in there for like 10 minutes. And
Like the Huntress is the best character in this movie because like her doing the practicing in the mirror with
yep,
that's what they call me. No,
that's
not
right.
that's what they call me.
It's
No,
real.
that's why they. And every
She's so
time she
good.
finishes the sentence, it cuts to somebody else saying the crossbow killer,
Yep.
and then someone, I think it's the police lady, says, "You're the crossbow killer." She's like, "That's not my name. That's not who I am." And the scene later where like I think it's Harley says that she has rage issues and she's literally screaming in her face about how she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have rage issues.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you're nailing this
Yeah.
completely. Like you are the best part of this movie.
And then on the other side of the coin, we get a lot of Rosie Perez, and she does okay, but it sort of feels like she's a little bit wasted in this movie of just, the cops won't let me do what I need to do. I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm a rogue cop. Take my badge and my gun. Which
Yeah, and the fact that they do that and then Harley even calls it out in the narration is kind of, eh.
I do like that the Birds of Prey do go get founded, and Harley, I like Harley, true to her nature, takes Cass and escapes at the end of the movie after Cass poops out the diamond.
Which is
And,
that is a great parent scene where
yep,
the kid's like, "Yeah, I gotta go," and everybody cheers, and she just
yep,
gets so embarrassed. It's like,
it's real
yeah,
good.
okay, that is a good scene.
And I do like that Harley is, judging them for being, goody two shoes crime fighters, which feels pretty good, but like it's hard to buy that the three of them would work together because you don't see them enough in the movie. They're there for the fairly okay but pretty CG heavy big fight scene at the end of the movie, which always appreciate Barracuda being in a movie. 2 thumbs up. Always a great song.
Yes, and I will say so. I remember the misogynists coming out in force for the fight scene in this movie, and
I'm sure.
saying how unrealistic it was that they would stop in the middle of a fight and Harley offers her a hair tie. It's like, no, it's exactly what two women with long hair would do for each other.
Yeah, that felt pretty earned. Like that was actually a pretty good scene. I forgot about that, and that was great. There's also a scene that I thought was
did get me.
That's right. I did kind of like the scene where they're up and getting ready to do the fight, and Harley's like, let's go grab the guns from the gun area. And then she opens it and makes this big deal, and the whole thing is just empty. I kind of liked that, and her reaction to it was like, of course they took all the guns. Like that was pretty good, but I don't know. This one's a hard one. I liked a lot of it, but it felt like so much of it never came all the way together, especially when it's kind of 2 movies in one. Like the first half or 75% is largely just Harley's story, and then the rest of it is
this
everybody
movie should
else.
Not have been called The Birds of Prey.
No, like
it should have been called The Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Right.
And the formation of the Birds of Prey. That's
right.
what it should have been called, not Birds of Prey, the fabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Right, the emancipation of Harley Quinn from the coward, the Dr. J, the Joker.
Yes.
Yeah, because like, I would have felt okay, I think, watching this movie, because I don't mind Harley Quinn. I know people either really love or really hate her character, which I 100% get. But if this would have just been a Harley Quinn movie that kind of led into, hey, here's the Birds of Prey also, I think I would have been a little bit better with that, but the balance there wasn't good enough, I don't think.
No, it's really annoying.
It's still a fine movie. Like, it's just... It's
just like, it should be a Harley Quinn movie, not a Birds of Prey movie. Like,
right.
First and foremost. Like, this should be the thing to introduce the Birds of Prey.
Right.
Not called Birds of Prey, because it's not about them. It's all about Harley. And I get it, because she was the thing that nobody would shut up about after the Suicide Squad movie.
Right.
Like, she stole that show, understandably so.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, come on.
Yeah. And it is a pretty fun movie. I do one of the things I do like is I feel like in the DC stuff, it's easy to lose sight that everybody knows who all of these characters are. Like, regular people on the street know them. So when Harley goes and blows up that chemical plant, everybody knows that they broke up. And it's like, that's actually a pretty good touch of everybody like, no, this is for they broke up for real. And I was like, that's I kind of like that.
It's supervillain on social media is like blowing up a chemical factory just because you broke up with your ex. Like,
right.
That is 100% supervillain social media.
I kind of like
social media is a bat signal in the sky. Like, it makes perfect sense. It's theatrics. It's all about theatrics. And you're right. Like, that is one of my favorite plot points in this entire movie is like, yo, she blew up base chemicals. They're dunzo.
Right.
And now everybody knows that and wants her dead.
Yeah.
Like,
because there's no protection
of Mr. J anymore.
Yeah.
So have fun with that, I guess.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting too when Sionis captures Harley and starts doing the like knife intimidation stuff. That I think that's the moment when she realizes like, oh no, this really is for real. I am by myself now, and there's no one coming here to save me at this point. So I gotta wiggle out of this somehow.
Yeah, I did not like the diamonds are a girl's best friend sequence. Like, I get it, Harley is a little questionable in the brain pan, but
I like the idea of it, and I like they captured that song, and they captured the mood and kind of the style of the original really well. I don't know if it fit right there exactly. It sort of felt like it was a little bit out of the right spot in the movie. Maybe it would have been better if they would have gone back to the animated style from the intro. Maybe that would have been kind of fun. But I feel like I like that scene more than a lot of people do. But it's one of those that I definitely understand. If someone's like, I didn't really like that. It's like, yeah, I get it. I get you. I don't know. I don't know what else I have to say about this movie. It's fine. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not great, but I had an okay time watching it.
I will say, like, flat out, this is one of those movies where, like, it took effort for me to focus on it at times.
Yeah.
Like, there was times when I was just like, this is just, it's dragging, it's slow.
It's a very long
Where are
movie.
the birds of prey? It's a 2 hours that feels like a 3 hours if I'm right.
Right.
It's not like we watched Dreads. I think that's a 90-minute movie that feels like a 30-minute movie. Like, that thing doesn't stop.
That movie's so good. Yeah,
and I like the references. Like there's a lot of references in this movie. I do like a lot of them. The sentimental value shirt, which is the Daddy's Little Monster shirt that she wore in Suicide Squad. That's a nice touch. I like the fact that Montoya gets to wear Harley's comic outfit.
Right.
The red and black corset is a nice touch.
I also like
Sexy and bulletproof.
I also like the shirt that Montoya gets out of the I shaved my bleep for this. It's like, great. That's real good. I like even her boss is like, hey man, there's a dress code for here, so maybe you want to get with the program. Yeah. I don't know. It's good. Let's do the ratings here real quick. IMDb has us at a 6.1 out of 10 for 255,000 ratings. Tomato Meter has it at 78% for both the Tomato Meter and audience score. And Letterboxd has us at a 3.1 out of 5. I feel like that like 3.1 is probably more where I'm at. I thought it was solid.
Like a 6 out of 10,
yeah,
roughly where I'm sitting too.
I'm in between that like 2.5 to 3 out of 5, where it's like it was fine. It's not something I'm racing out to watch again. It feels like a TBS Saturday afternoon I'm sick sort of movie where it's like, Birds of Prey is on, sure, why not? I'll watch that.
Minus the R-rated nature of it.
Yeah, except for cutting out half of this movie, probably.
The swears and the grenade explosion, which is just okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was all right. It's fine. Any final thoughts here for Birds of Prey?
It was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all right.
It didn't. I don't think it was. The funny thing is I think this movie was pitched quite successfully as a quote-unquote girl power movie.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think it's a girl power movie. I think it's a Harley power movie.
Sure, yeah.
And I think it's a genuinely decent thing for Harley. But at the same time, it's like you underused Dinette, you underused the Huntress, you underused everybody else in this.
Yeah.
Like
Harley and Cass Kane are probably the two biggest ones in here.
Yeah, and like we said, the Huntress is unbelievably good in her performance in this movie.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. It was okay. That's okay. We're not. It certainly wasn't the stereotypical DCEU movie where it's like, ooh boy, oof, that's so much is wrong here. Yeah.
We also need to at some point figure out if we slot the Joker into this at any point.
Oh boy, yeah, I don't. Yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe someday.
I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure it's a 2019 movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, maybe season 3. Maybe we'll do a catch up in season 3. I don't know.
We could do a DCEU non-canon because you've got the Batman is sitting right there.
You also do like a spiritual sequel thing of King of Comedy and the Joker.
True.
Yeah.
I've never seen King of Comedy.
I haven't either. I haven't seen either one of those. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.